I've become a mood reader. I've decided to ditch the TBR completely. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and it's time for my 24-hour readathon. If you haven't seen the announcement video, then I will just do a quick recap for you. These are bi-monthly readathons and they are very, very chill. The idea is just to tackle your TBR, but the main point of all of this is to take at least one day for you to relax and read, or relax and do whatever it is that you enjoy doing, but just taking that day for yourself. It can be so easy to get caught up in other things and just never take that time. So that's what this is for. We do have a few prompts. These prompts aren't changing for the readathons they used to, but now I'm going to keep it nice and easy as possible. So we have the 4 prompts. They are: read a book on your TBR, continue a series, read a book you keep putting off, or a book that you're in the middle of that you said you'd get back to but never have, and the smallest book on your TBR. As always, you can have a different book for each of these prompts, or you can combine them in any way that works for you. The 24-hour readathon, if you do want to take part, obviously it's in the past, but you don't have to take part on this specific day if you didn't want to. You could turn it into a month long, a week long, or just on a different day, which I know a couple of people are doing as well. I do have 4 books I would like to read during this 24 hours. I think I'm going to start off with Hex. So Hex by Jenny Fagan is the book that I had for reading a book on my TBR. This is one that I'm really excited about. This is about witches, and I do believe we have someone that's from our time that's travelled back in the past to Edinburgh, 4th of December 1591, which is why I think actually reading this in December is going to be perfect. And we're learning about, sorry if I pronounce this wrong, Gillis Duncan, who is in prison for being a witch, and they start having a conversation. I'm really intrigued. I love starting off with a short book to feel accomplished with all of this, so that's the one I'm going to start off with for today. I have such high hopes for this. I've heard a few people talking about it and they've really enjoyed it, so fingers crossed with that. And then yeah, we'll go from there. That leaves me with 3 other books to read. I think what will probably happen, the plan for today, is to read Wakenhurst and then at maybe like 100 pages in or something, break it up with one of the 2 smaller books, come back to this, break it up, and then finish it. That's the plan, but we'll confirm that once I've actually finished Hex. That's it. It's going to be low stakes, nice and chill. I'm going to say from now that I sleep. I cannot stay awake for 24 hours. It doesn't happen. I get terribly cranky, so I will be sleeping. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy all of this, and let me know if you did take part. But I think for now, I'm going to get to reading Hex. When I started this readathon, I actually forgot to say I was starting it at 10 o'clock, but I did start it at 10 o'clock. It is now 11:39 and I have just finished Hex. I liked it. I think the writing is beautiful, and it is talking a lot about feminism, really, about how women have been persecuted throughout time, like with all the witch hunts and things, and how obviously they weren't witches, but men would come up with these excuses, these ridiculous things that weren't even possible, blame these women for, and torture them and stuff. And that's what this book is highlighting, and I think it does a good job of that. It's, like I say, it's very lyrical, and the writing style is very beautiful, but it also felt very repetitive, and for such a short book I wasn't expecting so much repetition of the same things again and again. It does do that harsh look and comparing how women were treated back then for being witches, and how now how women still have to be concerned about certain things. It does a good exploration of all of these things, but I think it was just a little bit too repetitive for me, and as much as I appreciate the beautiful writing, it did feel a bit much at the same time. I liked this, but not as much as I had hoped, which is a bit of a shame. But you know what? Only an hour and 40 minutes into the readathon and we've already got our first book done, so that is pretty amazing. I am going to be starting Wakenhurst. I am looking forward to this one. This is a book that I've been putting off for ages, which is the prompt that it's fulfilling. This one is in Edwardian Suffolk. A manor house stands alone in the lost corner of the fens, a glittering wilderness of water whose whispering reeds guard ancient secrets. Maud is a lonely child growing up without a mother, ruled by her repressive father. When he finds a painted medieval devil in a graveyard, unhallowed forces are awakened. Maud's battle has begun. She must survive a world haunted by witchcraft, the age-old legends of her beloved fen, and the ever more nightmarish demons of her father's past. I'm very excited. Honestly, it's a bit of a witchy theme today, isn't it? But I am looking forward to this one. How many pages is this? 385 pages, which if we split that into 3, so it's saying about 128.3 pages, so I'm going to round that up to about 130-ish pages, depending on where the chapter breaks are in this, and then we'll break it up with the other books. But I'm actually feeling really surprised that we've already got one book done and still got loads of time. I feel like this is very doable today. But yes, I will be starting off with this one next. I might just take a bit of a break just to stretch and do things, update my reading journal that I finished this one. But yeah, I'm excited. I didn't expect a witchy theme. A good start to the day. I love starting off a day with just this slow sort of a start, with just relaxing and reading, which obviously I'm going to carry on doing all day, but it's so nice to be able to relax. But yeah, okay, right. Enough rambling. Let's get on and do things, and I will update you when I've read a little chunk of this book. It's now 2 o'clock and I think I'm gonna break for some food and maybe just take an hour off of reading. I have started Wakenhurst. I got up to chapter 15, page 132, and I really liked the start of this. In the start there was a lot of newspaper articles and letters from Maud to someone else, and it was talking about the fact that her father had killed someone, like just apparently went out into the woods and just killed the first person he stumbled across. He's now in a asylum and he's made these paintings which show like devils and this woman that's always in the middle of them. This news reporter, mind blanking on the actual word, he is convinced that the woman in those paintings is Maud, and that Maud actually killed the man and that her father is covering for her. That really intrigued me. It really set the tone for this book, and I was wanting to know what on earth happened. Up until that point it slowed down a little bit because we've been following Maud as she's been growing up from a young child, and now I believe she's 15, and I am enjoying it. It is set in Edwardian Suffolk, so a lot of it is older. The fact that Maud's got to deal with the fact that even though she's the eldest, her brothers look down on her and see her as silly because girls can't learn. She's got to deal with all the prejudices of that. Her mother then dies and she's got to deal with her father and she's angry against him, and then she finds her father's notebook and discovers all of his real thoughts and feelings and stuff. And so it is really interesting. I do like it. I like the descriptions of the fen and how wild it all is, but I'm really hoping we get back to that hint of gothic and things just being so corrupt and wrong that I got when I was reading almost like the prologue to this, which I feel like we've left. There is a darker tone to this. It's got quite a darker atmosphere to it, which I am enjoying, but it has got a lot slower. There's a lot about religion in here. Again, that's expected for the time that it's set. I'm enjoying it. I think I'm enjoying it more than I enjoyed Hex. I think the writing's really good. It's really easy to read. The chapters are broken down. Parts where they have this little stopper in the page which makes reading it just really simple. I don't know why, but I find with shorter chapters or things like that, I read it faster, which is weird. It is a bit slow. I do want more to happen, and I'm hoping it happens soon because her father's just discovered this book that he's translating. I believe it was something to do with a woman called Alice. Not sure if she's a witch or something in this. It's interesting nonetheless. Her father's really like focused on it, hyper focused. She's helping with the translation, she's typing everything up for him. So yeah, hopefully things will start picking up, especially because they've just found this piece of a painting that's called the Doom, which was this very dark, creepy eye that was found. For now, I'm going to put this down. We're going to do some lunch. Feeling a soup because it's chilly today. Then chill out, probably maybe watch a YouTube, do something different to break up the reading, because I have been reading for the last 4 hours pretty much consistently. And then I'm thinking to pick up one of the other shorter books and then get back to this. So that's the plan. I am enjoying it. It's been a really relaxing day. As much as I feel like, oh my gosh, I should be doing something, it's nice to just chill. Anyway, I'm going to stop the ramble. We're going to go get some food and I will catch up with you when I've read a bit more. It is now 4 o'clock, okay, 3:57 to be precise. I've had my lunch and I actually read Tokyo Ghoul Volume 8. So I do like this manga series. We are in a world, well, we're in Japan, we're in our world, except there are these beings called ghouls. They look exactly like humans, except they need to eat human flesh to survive. They also have these things called, probably going to butcher the pronunciation, but a K-goon, which is almost like this extra appendage that can come out and it helps protect them and fight and stuff. This one was just a lot of fighting. Like the last couple were fighting because our main character, he was tortured quite a lot, so you got a lot of those scenes, and then his friends all set out to rescue him, and so the last couple have just been a lot of fighting scenes, which is okay, but I don't enjoy them as much, to be quite honest. I preferred the first few in a series, so I don't have many more left to go. We only have 4 volumes left. I will finish it, but I am lessening my interest towards it, which is a bit of a shame. I can't really have much to say about this one. Like, it does do flashbacks to the past, so you can learn more about our characters and stuff, but otherwise it's just not gripping me as much as I'd hoped at this point in the series. But that is another book down, so we're doing pretty well, to be fair. We finished 2 books and then I'll be continuing on with Wakenhurst next. I actually feel quite hopeful that I'm actually going to get everything finished this readathon, which is really nice. I think part of that is because I have kept it quite small amounts. It's a bit more manageable. I just feel a bit disheartened because it wasn't much to talk about, and I feel like all the books so far in this readathon, I mean, apart from Wakenhurst, I am enjoying it, but as said, that first bit was a bit slow. I haven't felt like, oh, this is an amazing book. I haven't had that moment yet, which is a shame because I would really like that. But I have hopes for Wakenhurst, hopes that we're going to get more of that gothic, darker tone back to it, hopefully soon, but I guess we're going to see. Anyway, that's it, because otherwise I'm going to start rambling again, so I'm going to get back to reading. Okay, you know what? I've decided I need to change this readathon up a little bit. I was really excited about all the picks on this TBR, but let me actually, I don't know why I do this. My arms cannot hold this up, which it's not even that big. Do I have an excuse? No, I don't. But yeah, so this readathon, I was really excited for this TBR, and while I do want to get back to Wakenhurst, I also don't want to read it right now. I think I've become a mood reader. I have become officially a mood reader, which is so weird, but I just feel odd when I'm not reading multiple different books at once, and I really am quite fickle now, whereas before I would power through this and it wouldn't be a problem, but because I'm just not in the mood to pick it up, I'm not looking forward to it. I think in that last update, which was about, what, 10 minutes ago, you could really tell that I just wasn't enthused. I wasn't looking forward to it, and so I've decided to ditch the TBR completely, and we're going to go with 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I I'm so excited for this book, and again, I'm doing something that I don't normally do. I normally wait to film the book haul videos before I read all the new books that I get, and it's just not happening because this is what my mood is craving, and that's what we're going to do. I don't know anything about this one. I don't want to because it's Holly Jackson. I know I like it. It's YA murder mystery. Their RV breaks down in the middle of nowhere and they realise, oh no, someone's out to get them. I just want to read it. That's what I want to do. I don't want to carry on with my TBR right now. I will probably get back to it depending on how long it takes, but if I really get into this is what I'm going to now finish. And then I will finish Wakenhurst at some point throughout the month. We'll see how it goes, because in all honesty, I could probably get 100 pages into this and feel the need to change it up again, and then I'll go back to Wakenhurst. But this is what I'm saying, like, is this what it's like for the mood readers out there, that you can't settle on a book? Because I did not used to be like this. Like, I could hands down fully focus on a book, sit down, 6 hours later I've finished it, and I would be happy with that. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. I need the change. I have to change up books. I can't do it any other way, unless of course a book is particularly gripping me and my attention, which I'm really hoping happens with 5 to 5, because I'm so excited for this book. So that's what we're doing. We are doing a complete change. I've still got quite a bit of this readathon left to go, let's face it, so I should hopefully get this done, but I'm so excited for it, and now I can't wait to sit back down reading. I was definitely procrastinating it. Like, I spent the last 20 minutes doing nothing. I made myself a hot drink, so that's good, and I'm thinking we're gonna have some biscuits, but that's it. Like, I did nothing. Even that little bit where I was updating my journal, do you know how long I took? And it was just a little tick and just writing the titles in, and I was still procrastinating. Now I'm really pumped and we're gonna do that. So I'm going with my feelings. We're turning into a mood reader. You saw it here first. I don't know who I am anymore, but I'm actually loving it and I feel so much happier. So this is what we're going to go with, and fingers crossed I like it. That's the thing. That's what this whole day was, is to just rest and relax and enjoy it. And it wasn't enjoyable. I was finding it a chore because I wasn't excited about what I was reading, and I hate that. Take this as a sign that if you're not enjoying what you're reading, put it down and grab something that's actually calling to your attention, because life's too short for that otherwise. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get back to reading. Okay, it is now, I don't even know. Oh, 5:59. This was such a good choice. I'm loving it. It's so good. So I did make a mistake. It's not a YA murder mystery. It is a YA thriller, and I'm loving it. So we have a group of characters. Our main character that we're following is called Red, and she is really interesting actually. So clearly something's happened in the past. She has a really difficult home life. She's obviously having to do a lot to look after her dad. Her mum has passed away and she struggles a lot. She also forgets a lot of things and can't seem to keep track of anything. But she is going away with her friends to a summer break. They're going to a campsite to stay overnight before continuing on their journey. And they're all travelling in this RV. So she's with her best friend, Maddie. Maddie is with her brother. So her brother's come along to supervise them all, and he brought his girlfriend. Her brother, Oliver, is a douche. I really don't like him at all. He is absolutely horrible. And then Maddie also brought a friend called Simon, and Simon brought his friend called Arthur. So that's our group that we are following, and at this point we are up to chapter 11, page 84, and the wheels have just been shot out, and I think it's great. I think it's so good. We're starting to see the group really arguing and kind of falling apart, but I would say that's mainly instigated by Oliver. Like, when I say he's a douche, I mean it. He is a douche. But this is just so good. So I'm actually up to part midnight. So as I was showing you, all of the parts. Like, it's done over one night, and so you get parts where it tells you the exact time, and so I'm in the 12 a.m. hour. But yeah, so I'm loving this. I just think it's so easy to read, it's fast paced, it's engaging. I really like Red as a character. She's actually quite relatable in a lot of instances, even though she seems really not quite with it. I'm so intrigued. I'm so intrigued as to what's going to happen and how it's going to progress. I really just want to carry on reading this, so I think I'm going to. I think we're going to do that. I might stop to eat about half hour or so, but I really wanted to update before I got too far into this. Yeah, and I'm so pleased because the other books, they just weren't doing it. They just weren't doing it. And as much as I do like Wakenhurst and I do want to read it, it's just a bit too slow to grip me. And I think because I'm so used to splitting up the reading that I'm doing, so I'll read for like 50 pages at a time, and I've been swapping books, so I have like one book at lunch, one book of an evening time, one book when I'm out and about, and I'm so used to doing that to have a book that I can just sit down and read consistently really has to grip me. It's got to be fast-paced. Well, fast-paced is probably the wrong word, but just, yeah, gripping. It's got to keep me hooked and wanting to keep turning those pages. And while I do think Wakenhurst is going to be a good book, and I do think it will pick up, it's not enough for me to read consistently without those breaks. And I do have a classic book which I can break it up with, but I'm not feeling that sort of writing. Yeah, this was definitely the best decision I made in changing to this. I've been having great chats with people on Discord as we've been keeping up to date with what I'm reading. I've had one other person taking part today with me. I've got a couple of people that can take part at different times during the week and stuff, but it's just lovely. So if you do want to join our little community over there and just have random little catch-ups and discussions about Agatha Christie at the moment and stuff, then please do so. I do forget to link it in the bio a lot of the time, but editing Kirsten, write it down, we need to add it in this one so that it's there if you want to join in, because it's just been lovely to be able to message people and keep up to date with what they've been able to read. And yeah, it's just been a good time. The mood has changed. Choosing this book has really helped, and I'm loving it. So will I get it finished today, this evening? I don't know. How many pages is this? 389 pages. So I've got basically 300 pages to go. I don't know if that's going to happen tonight, but I am really feeling it. So maybe actually, who knows? But yeah, ditching the TBR. Didn't think it was me, but it's the best decision I've made. So yeah, okay, I've said that a lot. I'm gonna get back to reading and then stop, have some dinner, which I cooked yesterday, so all I've got to do is heat it up. Love that. It makes life so much easier when you cook too much food and you just have it for the next day. That's, again, you don't need to know, this is not part of the readathon, you don't need to know that. I'm going to leave you in peace and get back to reading. I really haven't moved much from my bed today, and yet I'm incredibly tired. I'm also in my hoodie. Honestly, I love this thing. It is the most comfy and warm thing. It is perfect for a winter evening. Anyway, the time is 8:38 now. Been doing this for like 10 hours? That's not bad, that's not bad. So I'm thinking this is going to be my last update of the evening, because in a couple of hours time everyone's going to be getting ready for bed anyway, so I don't want to be disturbing them with updates. So I think we'll just do a quick update. So I read a little bit while I was eating, not much, so we're now up to chapter 15, page 115, and I'm really enjoying this. You saw me go back through and annotate it. I don't know if my tabs will show up. I have the tiniest tabs in the world, but I have started tabbing. I'm using green tabs to have suspicions, so people that I think are being suspicious, who could be in on the whole shooting out thing that's going on, and pink for quotes that I love like I normally do. There's only been one, but I don't mind that. And then, just as I got to the end of this chapter, I put in a little post-it note with just some theories that I've got of what's happening, and I love doing this. This is so much fun. I won't go into what my theories are because this is a brand new release, so I don't want to be giving away spoilers for people that want to read this. Safe to say, I'm enjoying it though. I have loads of theories, and if reading Agatha Christie has taught me anything, it is that you should be suspicious of every single person. So that is what I'm doing. Whether I get any of this right or whether this is going to be a repeat of Murder at the Vicarage and I get it completely wrong, I guess we're going to see. If you haven't seen that vlog, by the way, I had so much fun with that. I'll have it linked below. Clearly, mysteries are where my love is because I don't want to put this book down. This is just taken over the spot. I've just confirmed I'm not going to be carrying on for Wakenhurst today. It's all about 5 Survive. I am enjoying it so much. So I'm going to carry on with this for the next couple of hours and then head to bed. Well, we all know, as I said already, I don't stay up for 24 hours. That is not a possibility. But I have my annotating supplies at the ready, a cup of tea sat behind me, and my ever faithful biscuits. So let's carry on with this evening, and yeah, I'll probably catch up with you in the morning, wrapping all of this up and seeing how far we got and whether any of my theories prove fruitful, but we will see. Good morning, it's now 10 o'clock, so the readathon is at an end and it's time to recap everything that I actually read. So for this readathon I read a total of 709 pages, which is amazing. I think that's the most I've read for one of these readathons. Granted, 211 pages of that was a manga, so that goes super quick. But let's just get into what we actually read and start off with the book I didn't start at all, and that's Oscar Wilde's Lord Arthur Saville's Crime, and this was on the prompt for the shortest book on my TBR, coming in at 50 pages. It is one of the shortest books that I own. I just didn't get to it. I was not feeling a classic mood at all yesterday. To be fair, I wasn't feeling a lot of my TBR yesterday, which is why we diverted straight off it, because as much as I was really excited for all of these books when I initially put this TBR together, I then lost that. The book that kind of made me go, no, you know what, I need to jump off this TBR because I'm not enjoying it, is Tokyo Ghoul Volume 8. So I did complete it, and it was a quick, easy read, but it left me in a very much meh mood afterwards. This one, I mentioned what it was all about yesterday, but because it was just that purely graphic fighting scenes, I was just not in the mood for it, and I've been thinking about it since. I own up to volume 11, I believe, so I'll finish those. But then after that, if I'm still not loving the direction that this is going, I don't think I'm going to complete the last 2 volumes. It's a shame because I really liked the start of this. I thought it had a lot of potential. I just couldn't get on with this, and it could just be my mood. I'm not sure, which is why I'm happy to continue on to the next one and see what happens. But for this, it wasn't it, which is a shame because that definitely caused the honestly potential reading slump if I hadn't changed the book that I then changed to. Also, a book that was part of that is Hex by Jenny Fagan, and this is probably because I had such high hopes. So this was for the prompt to read anything on my TBR, and I was really excited for this one. However, it just wasn't what I wanted. It was so repetitive, which I know I mentioned, which I keep repeating myself. For such a short book, for 100 pages, I just don't think you need that many repetitions of going over the same point again and again. I did like the writing. It was very lyrical, very beautiful, but it just felt over the top flowery at times, which is unusual for me to say because normally that's the sort of writing that I adore, but it just wasn't working for me. And it's a shame because I feel like the story in this was very powerful, the core that it was trying to do. It's just the execution just wasn't great, and again that put me in a bit of a mood, and that was right at the very start. So as much as I felt accomplished that I finished a book, because it wasn't everything I thought it would be, which again is not the book's fault, that's my own expectations, it then just kind of set the tone of, oh, is that it? The book I had started is Wakenhurst by Michelle Paver, and I did enjoy this one. I didn't read it anymore, so I'm still on chapter 15, page 132, and I was so intrigued by the start of this book. I thought it was fascinating. I already mentioned how it was done in different formats of like newspaper clippings and stuff. It just worked so well, and I'm so intrigued to carry on. But that first chunk was very slow. Once you get into the actual chapters of Maud telling her story, it got very, very slow. I do want to carry on with this. I am going to hopefully finish this in December. I mean, I've got 2/3 of the book left to go, and like I say, I was really intrigued by that beginning bit, so I do definitely want to continue. It was just a bit too slow for my mood, and after reading Tokyo Ghoul, I knew that if I went back to this, I would be slugging through it, and in all honesty, spent most of my time on YouTube instead. So rather than having that happen, I did ditch the TBR. And of course you all know what book that was. It's been so good. I didn't get to finish it. I got up to chapter 31, page 267. Knowing that, could I have finished my TBR and finished Wakenhurst and read the one that I didn't even start? Yes, I could have. That is less pages than what I got up to. But no, because I know my mood wasn't in it, and this was so good. I'm loving it so much. I definitely want to finish it. You'll have to see final thoughts in my weekly vlog, which will be the video after this one, but I am loving it so much. I have tabbed it. I've just enjoyed it. I have little notes. So on the last bit, we're now up to 4 AM. I have another little note page of my thoughts, what I think is happening. This has just been so much fun. There's been so many twists and turns in it. I am loving this book so much. So I definitely think I'm going to be finishing this today. I didn't even want to put it down last night, but I know I've still got probably about 2 hours worth of reading time, and it was like getting on for midnight, and I was like, I just can't do it. I cannot push myself to stay up that much longer as much as I want to. And to be honest, I'm glad I didn't, because I forgot we have my nephew over today, so it's been extremely loud this morning since 8 o'clock, so I would not have slept much at all. So it was definitely the right thing to do. But yeah, I'm loving this. It's so good. I have been annotating, I've even been writing on the pages. I've just had such fun time with this one. It's so good. It was definitely what I was craving, and as I mentioned to you, it's kind of settled the fact that I am a mood reader. So as much as I have my TBRs, I think I'm using those more as guidelines now and just gonna go with what I feel like reading. That is where I'm thriving. That is what I'm enjoying doing, and so yeah, this was just fantastic. Like I say, I won't go into spoilers because it is a new release, but it has just been so suspenseful, and seeing our group start to fall apart, arguing with one another, blaming one another, finding out different things that they didn't want the others to know. It's been good, it's messy, it's fun, and as I say, I do really enjoy Red as our main character. But there we are, that's where we got to for this readathon. It went a different way than what I was expecting, but that is just the way it goes. So thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, then let's put a clock emoji, because it was a timed 24 hours, although I did forget to set the alarm and everything, but it's fine, it's fine. And let me know if you took part, or if you've read any of these, or just anything really, just let me know. Let's have a conversation. But thank you so much for watching. So if you have enjoyed this video, please do give it that thumbs up, subscribe and comment to let me know that you're here. Social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next one.